In my last video, I actually talked about this little DualSense charging station. And if you want to watch that video, you can find it on my channel. This thing looks like a tiny PlayStation 5, and I'm really into it. In this video, however, I want to talk to you about on how to improve your DualSense battery life. Because this thing does not have a really large battery. It goes for 8 hours, and sometimes, depending on what game you play, even less than that. So there are a few settings that you can change in order to improve the controller's battery life just a little bit. So let's get started. One of the first things that you can do to improve the DualSense battery life is to have your controller turn off after a certain amount of time. You can do that by going to Settings, System, and then Power Saving. And there you have a couple of options to choose from. You can have your controller turn off after 10 minutes, 30 minutes, or 60 minutes. Another option that you can choose for is to just turn off your controller manually when you know you have to go somewhere. In order to do that, you just click on the PlayStation button and the menu on the bottom will pop up, and you go to your controller icon, which says Accessories. Click on that and you'll see the wireless controller pop up. Click again and then you'll see two options, turn off or controller settings. Just click on turn off and your controller is off. The DualSense has a lot of great functions built inside of this thing. But if you're a type of person that doesn't really care about it, then you can definitely change some of these functions. And in order to do that, you go to your settings, accessories, and controllers. There you'll have a list of functions that you can play with. The first setting that you can change is the vibration intensity. This controller has some HD rumble system or technology built inside of it, but it does use a fair bit of battery life. So you can change that setting. It is on strong, I think that's the recommended one. But you can also change it to medium, weak, or just completely turn it off if you want to. The one under that is the trigger effect intensity. Now, the L2 and R2 buttons have this new type of technology or trigger sensitivity built in, which I cannot really explain, but it does create a certain sense of immersion. But again, if you're a type of person that doesn't really care about this particular setting, you can also choose to, set it to medium, weak, or just turn it off completely. The DualSense also has lights built inside of it that also use some battery life. But thankfully there is a setting for it, which is the controller indicators. I had to check my script for that because I kept forgetting the name. It is set brightness of controller indicators. From there you can set it to dim. Unfortunately you can't turn it off, but dim is fine as well, I guess. Another setting that you can turn off is the speaker that's built inside of this controller. If you go down a little bit, you can see the related settings in the same page that we were before with all the functions in it. And you have a little slider that you can just slide all the way to the left to turn off the speaker. If for some reason turning off or changing the settings for all of the things that I've spoken about are just not enough, you do get a nice long USB-C cable. But if for some reason that's not long enough for you, you can also opt for a longer USB-C cable to have your controller basically plugged in at all times. But I think the better option is to use the DualSense charging station. If you want to know more, you need to check out my video. I'm not giving you any details. So those are some of the settings that you can change in order to improve your DualSense battery life. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned something from it. If you enjoyed it, then give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos, then you can subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.